this promises to be one of the craziest NFL QB offseason carousels in quite some time.
There is a chance, and it might still be the case, where Aaron Rodgers would be an option for the Vikings.
Let's dive into the 15 wildest NFL offseason quarterback rumors as the new league year quickly approaches. Kyler Murray gets fresh start with the Jets. Everybody figures the Arizona Cardinals will move on from Kyler Murray this offseason. The real question is if he'll get outright released or if they'll find a trade partner for the former first overall pick. The New York Jets, holders of the number 2 pick, got screwed when Oregon QB Dante Moore announced that he was returning to college. ESPN's Bill Barnwell suggested the Jets acquire Kyler Murray and a 6th-round pick from Arizona for the bargain price of a 2026 4th-round pick. The Justin Fields free agent signing proved to be a disaster, and there is no way the Jets can run it back with him. So they can take a flyer on Murray and see if he can fill their QB1 duties. As we saw with Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and Daniel Jones, sometimes an underperforming QB just needs time to find his niche. Browns roll the dice on Tua Tagovailoa. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that the Miami Dolphins prefer to move on from Tua Tagovailoa and that they're willing to eat some of the money to make a trade work. Tagovailoa lost his starting job to rookie Quinn Ewers late in the season. Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel, the regime that defended Tua for all that time, are now long gone. The Cleveland Browns are expected to add a veteran quarterback to compete with Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel for the starting job. So, with a mountain of cap space, they could take a chance on the former number 1 pick and see how he performs under new head coach Todd Monken. Tagovailoa was never quite elite in Miami, but he'd be better than 90-something% of the QBs that the Browns have used in the 21st century. Like, this just kind of feels like a no-brainer. Just saying. Aaron Rodgers pulls a Brett Favre and joins Minnesota. Rodgers showed that he still had it at the age of 42 last season. He completed 65.7% of pass attempts for 3,322 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. It was enough to lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to a surprise AFC North Division crown. While most expect Rodgers to either return to Pittsburgh or retire, Schefter floated another possibility. What if Rodgers followed old mentor Brett Favre and joined the Minnesota Vikings for his final rodeo? Schefter noted that Rodgers seemed keen on the Vikings a year ago, but the feelings weren't mutual. Schefter wonders if things are a little different following the J.J. McCarthy disaster of a season. Steelers could turn to Mac Jones as Plan B. The Steelers' main priority appears to be to retain Aaron Rodgers, but if he doesn't return, the front office will be left scrambling for a QB. San Francisco 49ers backup Mac Jones played the best football of his career in relief of an injured Brock Purdy last season. Some analysts and fans have floated Jones as an ideal target for Pittsburgh if Rodgers doesn't return. I mean, he's only 27 and reminded everyone that he is a Pro Bowl caliber QB if he's in the right system. A Kirk Cousins Vikings reunion. As expected, the Atlanta Falcons confirmed that Kirk Cousins would be released at the start of the new league year. And so, the 4-time Pro Bowler is back on the open market for the second time in 3 years. Cousins lost his starting job to Michael Penix Jr. in 2024. But when Penix went down with an injury in the second half of 2025, Cousins had to take over as the starter for Atlanta's final 8 games. Cousins went 5-3 with 10 touchdowns against 5 interceptions, proving that he's still got it. As such, there should be considerable interest in him in free agency. According to The Athletic's Diana Rossini, one league source thinks a Cousins-Minnesota Vikings reunion could be in the works. Cousins played in mini from 2018 to 2023, and everyone knows J.J. McCarthy needs some competition after that disastrous 2025 campaign. Dolphins swing for the fences, land Kyler Murray. Assuming Miami moves on from Tua Tagovailoa, well, there might not be a better QB available than Kyler Murray. Like Tua, Murray needs a new home after yet another underwhelming season. The Dolphins have Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane as their primary weapons. And if they can land Murray, well, you better believe GM John Eric Sullivan will be ultra-motivated to add even more playmakers. Murray's dual-threat style would make him dangerous in a Miami offense built around speed. Browns targeting 2 big-name QBs. If the Browns want to avoid a high-priced veteran like Tua Tagovailoa, Kirk Cousins, or Kyler Murray, there are 2 notable names to monitor. According to Browns reporter Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com, Cleveland is eyeing Green Bay Packers pending free agent Malik Willis and Alabama signal caller Ty Simpson as external options. Willis has played well in relief of Jordan Love and will likely get a starter's contract somewhere. Simpson is the consensus number 2 QB in this year's draft behind Fernando Mendoza. The Browns have 2 first-round picks, so if they want Simpson, GM Andrew Berry has the assets to make it happen. A Geno Smith Jets reunion. Smith was the Jets' primary starter for 2 seasons before losing the job to Ryan Fitzpatrick in 2015. His 2025 season with the Las Vegas Raiders was a disaster. Yes, but aside from Derek Carr, the Raiders have been a QB graveyard for all quarterbacks who've entered since 2003. Jets could eye Smith as a bridge QB option for 2026. I mean, he's a better passer than Justin Fields and would have a nice set of playmakers led by Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. And if Smith flops, well, hey, at least he'll have helped the Jets' chances of tanking for a top QB in 2027. Anthony Richardson starts afresh in Pittsburgh. If not Aaron Rodgers, and if not Mac Jones, could A-Rich be the guy in Pittsburgh next season? Everyone expects the Indianapolis Colts to trade or release Richardson this offseason. The number 4 pick of 2023 lost the QB1 competition to Daniel Jones last year. Jones locked down the starting job for 2026 and beyond, so it's time for Richardson to find a new home. Internet sleuths frequently link Richardson to the Steelers, and why not? Mike McCarthy is one of the best QB guru coaches of his era, and Richardson could actually flourish in a rush-heavy offense under the tutelage of a Super Bowl winning head coach. Cardinals win Malik Willis sweepstakes. The Cardinals hold the number 3 pick, but that is way too early to target Ty Simpson. If Kyler Murray's time is up, they'll have to find his replacement via trade or free agency. If new Arizona head coach Mike LaFleur needs a suggestion, well, he just has to ask his older brother, Matt LaFleur. The latter helped unlock Malik Willis's potential when the Packers had to call upon him to replace Jordan Love. And Mike runs an offense awfully similar to Matt's. So it could be a very smooth transition here for Willis. And he'd be joining an offense with Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Steelers settle on Kirk Cousins. If it's not Aaron Rodgers, then maybe Cousins is the best option for the Steelers. He's 5 years younger than Rodgers, so if he pans out, he could be their starting QB well beyond 2026. Pittsburgh keeps getting mentioned as a possible landing spot for Cousins, and it makes sense if they aren't able to bring back Rodgers. And, well, you better believe that GM Omar Khan would make the win-now moves to improve the supporting cast if he brought in a seasoned veteran like Cousins to run that offense. Dolphins are targeting Malik Willis as new QB1. Miami will be busy exploring the QB trade and free agent markets this offseason. So if they're looking for a younger QB with enough upside to potentially solve the dilemma, Malik Willis is their guy. Willis would be well positioned to succeed in an offense with Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane as his primary weapons. Derek Carr finally becomes a Jet. During Super Bowl week, NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Mike Garofalo reported that former Raiders and Saints QB Derek Carr could come out of retirement if the right situation came along. Carr signed with New Orleans in 2023 free agency, but he later admitted that he was super close to joining the Jets. Maybe New York takes a chance on the 4-time Pro Bowler here. I mean, at the very least, he is a fine bridge option for 2026. Kyler Murray lands in Cleveland. Look, you can argue that the Browns need to stay patient with that rebuild, but the AFC North hasn't been this wide open since it was created back in 2002. It's no wonder that internet sleuths and analysts keep mentioning Murray and the Browns as a match. His dual-threat style of play would work perfectly in Todd Monken's offense. And really? Cleveland is just an above-average QB away from re-emerging as a playoff contender, which is kind of wild to say. Tua time in Nini. We've already discussed the possibility of the Vikings bringing in Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, but if neither of those scenarios come to fruition, could the number 5 pick of 2020 be an option? John Breach of CBS Sports is one of several notable analysts to propose the idea of Tua Tagovailoa going to the Vikings. Say what you want about his performance last season, but any Minnesota fan would have taken 2025 Tua over 2025 JJ McCarthy. It's very easy to scoff at Tua being the savior in Minnesota, but nobody thought that Sam Darnold would have an MVP caliber season when he joined the Vikings in 2024. Side note, How much do the Vikings miss Sam right now? Anyone know how he's doing these days? Yeah, so if you're Tagovailoa, I think it's hard to think of a better landing spot than Nitty. Working with a top-tier head coach in Kevin O'Connell with Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, and Jordan Addison as your primary weapons? Yeah, if you're Tua, you ought to be begging that this rumor comes true. But what other wild NFL offseason rumors are you following closely? What do you think of the ones here? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.